we shall discuss MRI scan, expanded as magnetic resonance image scan. MRI scans use a powerful magnet and radio waves to create images of the body's internal structures. MRI scans are used to diagnose a variety of conditions, plan treatments, and assess the effectiveness of previous treatments. During an MRI scan, you lie on a flat bed that slides into the large tunnel-shaped machine. The image produced by an MRI scan is analyzed by a radiologist to identify any abnormalities or conditions. MRI scans are generally safe and do not use ionizing radiations. You may need to remove any metal objects before the scan or have any metal implants. Pregnant women should inform the doctor in prior. And the different types of MRI scans can be performed, such as abdominal MRI, cervical MRI, chest MRI, cranial MRI, heart MRI, lumbar MRI, pelvic MRI, and so on. MRI produces very clear, detailed pictures of the organs and structures in the body. It is a form of medical imaging that uses no ionizing radiation. It uses the property of nuclear magnetic resonance to image nuclei of atoms inside the body. MRI scans work by using a strong magnetic field and radio waves to create detailed images of the body's tissues and organs based on the magnetic properties of the hydrogen atoms in water molecules. An MRI scanner uses magnetism to see the position of hydrogen atoms in water molecules inside the body. This allows it to build up an image of the internal structures. A non-invasive medical imaging technique that provides detailed images of soft tissues in the human body, helping in the diagnosis and monitoring of diseases. In 1937, Professor Isidore I. Rabi observed the quantum phenomenon dubbed nuclear magnetic resonance. He recognized that the atomic nuclei show their presence by absorbing or emitting radio waves when exposed to a sufficiently strong magnetic field. Raymond Darmadian, a physician, found that cancerous tissue has a different hydrogen signal than healthy tissue because tumors contain more water. This higher water content results in more hydrogen atoms, causing the radio waves from cancerous tissue to linger longer after the MRI machine is turned off. In 1973, Paul Lauterbach, a chemist, produced the first NMR image. On July 3, 1977, the first human scan was made as a first MRI prototype. It took nearly 4 hours to 6 hours working. Our body contains water molecules H2O, that is 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Thus the hydrogen contains 1 proton and this proton acts like a small magnet. So we can imagine that our body also contains the same small magnet. If the human body is inserted into the giant magnet in MRI, the magnetic field is in the x direction, then the protons in that molecules are also oriented in the same direction. If the radio frequency wave is allowed to pass now, then the proton in the same direction is slanted into 90 degree or 180 degree by changing its direction. Now the radio frequency is switched off. The proton aligned in the same direction along x-axis will return it to its original direction. When the proton returns from 90° or 180° to the old direction, it releases some energy, and time taken for releasing energy also is noted. By using this amount of energy and time duration, the problems in our body can be analyzed. Thus, the magnetic field realigns hydrogen atoms in our body. Radio waves cause these aligned atoms to produce signals, which are used to create cross-sectional MRI images. If there is a tumor in brain or any injuries in the spinal cord or uterus problems in women or heart problems, they can be analyzed by this system. Principle of MRI. MRI makes use of the magnetic properties of certain atomic nuclei. Hydrogen nucleus, that is single proton, present in water molecules and therefore in all body tissues. The hydrogen nuclei partially aligned by a strong magnetic field in the scanner. The nuclei can be rotated using radio waves, and they subsequently oscillate in the magnetic field while returning to equilibrium. Simultaneously, they emit a radio wave, a radio signal. This is detected using antennas, what we call this as coils. Thus, we have detailed images made up of soft tissues. Components of MRI machine. Magnet. There is a horizontal tube that runs through the magnet and is called a bore. Most MRI magnets use a magnetic field of 0.5 to 2 Tesla. The magnetic field is produced by passing a current through multiple coils that are inside the magnet. Gradient coils. There are 3 different gradient coils that are inside the MRI machine and are located within the main magnet. Each one of these produces 3 different magnetic fields which are less stronger than the main field. The gradient coils create a variable field, X, Y, Z direction, that can be increased or decreased to allow specific and different parts of the body to be scanned by altering and adjusting the main magnetic field. Gradient coils. The basic function of the RF coils is to transmit radio frequency waves into the patient's body. There are different coils located inside the MRI scanner to transmit waves into different body parts. If a certain area of the body is specified, then all the RF coils usually become focused on the body parts being imaged to allow for a better scan. Patient table. This component simply slides the patient into the MRI machine. The position at which the patient lies down on the table is determined by the part of the body that is being scanned. Once the part of the body under examination is in the exact center of the magnetic field, which is referred to as the isocenter, the scanning process is started. Antenna and computer system. The antenna is a very sensitive device that easily detects the RF signals emitted by a patient's body while undergoing examination and feeds this information into a computer system. The computer system is a powerful system whose major function is to receive, record, and to analyze the images of the patient's body that has been scanned. It interprets the data sent in by the antenna and then helps to produce an understandable image of the body part being examined. Advantages of MRI scanning. MRI scanning is used to detect abnormalities in soft tissues. There is no involvement of any kind of radiations in the MRI scanning. MRI scan can provide information about the blood circulation. It is painless. The images can be obtained in multiple planes, axial plane, sagittal plane, coronal or oblique plane, without repositioning the patient. What we call this is multiplanar imaging. MRI images demonstrate superior soft tissue contrast than computerized topography scans, CT scans. computerized tomography and plain films, making it to the ideal examination of the brain, spine, joints, and other soft tissue body parts. It is superior soft tissue contrast than CT scan. It has higher resolution of disuse. Disadvantages of MRI scan. MRI scans are considered to be a safe procedure provided there should be no implants or objects within our body because those things will also be scanned. The powerful magnetic fields generated by the MRI scanner will attract metal objects. The magnetic field of the MRI scanner can also pull on any metal containing object in your body such as medicine pumps or aneurysm clips. Some medical implants may heat up during the scan as a result of the technology. MRI scans can cause heart pacemakers, defibrillation devices, and cochlear implants to malfunction. It is expensive. RF transmitters can cause severe burns if mishandled. So there are a lot of applications for MRI scanning, right from agriculture, medicine, hospitals, functional imaging, in airport for detection of explosives, environmental monitoring, then in vivo spectroscopy, NMR microscopy, food technology, material science, structural biology, structural chemistry, forensic science, physics and soil sciences. Nuclear magnetic resonance in detail. NMR results from resonant absorption of electromagnetic energy by a nucleus, mostly protons, changing its spin orientation. The resonance frequency depends on the chemical environment of the nucleus, giving a specific fingerprint of a particular group. NMR is non-destructive and contact-free. Modern variants of NMR provide 3D structural resolution of proteins in solution. NMR tomography is the most advanced and powerful imaging tool. It is used for magnetic resonance imaging for medical diagnosis and magnetic resonance microscopy in research setting. Biochemical information can also be achieved from living tissue. Example, human brain tumor. Applications of NMR. NMR is used in biology to study biofluids, cells, organs, and macromolecules such as nucleic acids, DNA or RNA, carbohydrates, proteins, peptides, and also labeling studies in biochemistry. NMR is used in physics and physical chemistry to study high pressure diffusion, liquid crystals, membranes. It is used to construct 3D structures of proteins, nucleic acids, protein DNA complexes. NMR is used in pharmaceutical science to study pharmaceuticals and drug metabolism. NMR is used in chemistry to determine the purity, elucidate the chemical structure of organic and inorganic compounds. Proton NMR widely is used for structure elucidation. Inorganic compounds are investigated by solid-state proton NMR. For example, CaSO4. Solid-state proton NMR constitutes a powerful approach to investigate the hydrogen bonding and ionization states of small organic compounds. It can detect demyelination, lesions, tumors, hemorrhages, infections, abdomen, metabolic liver disease, and so on. It can measure liver ion load in hemochromatosis. It can evaluate transplanted kidney. It can differentiate between benign prostate hyperplasia and prostate carcinoma. It detects bladder tumors. The NMR spectroscopy can be used to image the body parts in living tissues, particularly proton NMR. This technique of magnetic resonance image diagnosis diseases such as cancer. This is an established medical diagnosis, detects soft tissue image. The experimental technique has been sufficiently refined, not only very high resolution, but also a whole sequence of the head. The MRI technique is also used widely to detect photos, abnormalities, and to observe metabolic process. From MRI scan, the blood flow in different regions can be studied and related to the mental activities. MRI can detect where the inflammation has occurred in the nervous system, how severity and impact of treatment. Superiority of MRI. The technique of MRI imaging, also known as tomography, is based on the idea that is 2D or 3D pictures of objects can be taken by proper field at various depths in the sample. NMR imaging technique is superior to the techniques such as CAT and the X-ray method. Its frequency is very low and harmless to human. The rapidity with individual images give on physiological function of the body, organ, heart, brain, and so on.